Filters menu and then down to Distort and Displace. Now this is in Affinity Photo and you can go, oh, nothing changes. Well, what you need to do is you need to load a file or something from below, one of the layers. Now I'm going to go for a file, so I'm going to click there and I'm just going to use the actual same image. You can use any other image, of course, you can use gradients, etc., but this time use that file. So click open and then you can see the result and it creates a really quite nice sort of, I don't know, drawn look, an oil painting effect. Now, of course, if it was in colour, this one is lost the original colour. It's actually in black and white now. So just, you can modify that. You can also go to minus 512. You go the other direction. You can push it to 512. Unfortunately, you can't, for some weird reason, and many of the filters in Affinity do, you can't drag across interactively and modify it. I'm just going to go for about there. And you can see the result of it. Really, really nice effect. And click apply. But what you can also do is you can go to filters and you can repeat it. So repeat displacement map. Apply it a couple of times and that this time creates a sort of more misty look. Obviously it probably depends on the image. I'm certain that some images you might get something very different, but of course there's a lot of white around there. So however, what you can also do is you can go to layer and fade displacement map. So fade displacement map, and with that, let's just drag that. It always puts the panels in that corner. I do not know why. I would love to see it just where I left it in the first place. You got this fade feature. Now, of course, another thing I really like about this is you can split. So you can see the original, but you can also got blend modes. You might go, you know what? Let's go for linear burn. And you can modify that to create a much darker image. I think that creates quite a nice effect as well. Click apply. And then you can see the result of that. And of course, you can always again repeat, apply, and then go to layer, fade displacement map, and then again go to linear burn, or maybe try some of the others. You can just run through them. Maybe hard mix creates a really nice effect there as well, more threshold-like effect. Click apply there, and you've got that end result there. But what you can also do is you can apply. So I'm just going to go back to the original image. You can apply a modification to this image, like a Gaussian blur, motion blur, or even probably a displacement map. You could save it to a file as well. So in this case, I'm going to go to filters and down to distort again and displace. And I'm just going to drag that over, load map from file. And you can see I've got a blurred one. That was Gaussian blur. That creates a warping effect. I mean, I'll just select it. I'll just quickly show. Not so happy with that one. So you can see it warps. It's fine. I mean, it's great, but it's not particularly what I want. So, but it's a possibility, just creates that sort of effect. So cancel that. Filters and distort, and again, down to displace. With that, again, puts it down the bottom there, load map from file, and I'm going to go for the motion. Now this creates a nicer one. You can set motion. I think motion blur is actually a really useful filter because you can obviously change the position, the angles. Really great. So click open, and this time what happens, it's the same image but it's the motion blur effect. Now we'll show it later as well. So just go increase that up to the max, or go the other way. So you can see, change it like that. Now if you have it at 0, of course, hardly any effect at all. You might be happy with that because then you can use the repeat maybe multiple times. So 512. Again, you can still do that, repeat displacement map, and you can see the result. It's sort of nice, sort of, I don't know, a dripping effect. So just, and you can apply it multiple times. And of course, you can still do exactly the same. You can go here, fade displacement map, just drag that up again and go with fade, maybe go with linear burn, something like that. Click apply. And you can always repeat displacement map or fade the fade, which I always think is one of the nicest and very odd things. But you can go to linear burn again, go that way, make it even darker if you want to. I think it's a great effect. However, what you can also do is use the displacement map itself as a file and use this image. So I'm just going to go now to File and Open. Now I've got the blurred one there, could use that, but I'm going to go with the motion blur one. Click Open. And you can see the result. That was the file I was using, that was streaks. You can still see the original image there, just streaking downwards. Well, now what you can do, okay, let's just drag that up there, go to Filters and Distort and down to Displace. Now you could of course apply other filters, effects, etc. as well. And again, you've still got to see, it doesn't remember it. I wish it would. One of those features that slightly bugs me, that the load map, a list of sort of like all the previous files will be nice in there. Some presets, etc. But just, you have to load it each and every time. Very odd. However, load map from file, you know, the last 4 or something used would be really nice. You can click that, or you can click the original image. Do both. Now you can see what happens. You've got this, you've got the image there, you can see the original face there. And you can just change that, gives it a nice sort of glassy, embossed effect. And again, just apply like that. Maybe repeat displacement, or again, just go to layer and fade. And so you've got that sort of motion blur effect with a bit of that sort of nice glass emboss. And you can tweak it, change it. Also go to blending modes, color burn, linear burn, hard mix. Probably doesn't work so well. Color burn. I'm just going to go with that. And again, do exactly the same, repeat displacement map, and you can apply it multiple times. Create quite an interesting sort of sketch with that sort of smudgy effect as well. And of course, you can combine multiple, maybe have those as layers, build on top of each other. Whole range of different options with this. And of course, you could also use color channels and much, much more with displacement maps with these images to create a nice sort of color. Actually, I'm just going to go and do that. So View, Studio, and Channels. You can just go here. Composite red, just go there. With that, just go to Filters, again down to Distort and Displace. And you can see the result with this. Just go again. It's forgotten already. Would be lovely if it remembered it. Maybe this time use the motion blur one with the motion blur. Why not? And you can see the result there. And you can just drag up and it just drags. You've got to add some streaks to the image. Again, channels, click apply. And now it's only to the red channel. So if I go back now, and I'm not going to do all the others, but you could do all the others separately, perfectly reasonable, different settings maybe. In fact, why not? Let's just go for composite green, filters, and again, distort, and let's go displace again. And you could use a different one. Don't have to use the same one. So load map, this time I'm going to use the original image, the black and white image. So I'm just going to use that and use that. And again, you could vary the setting. Don't have to make it extreme. Maybe do the negative. Click apply. Now I'm just going to go back there and you can see what's happened. You've created this sort of like lovely sort of purples and greens in there, as well as of course the image. And again, you can still combine it with fades and all those sort of things, as well as repeats and much, much more. Well, hope you found this tutorial of interest. Thank you much.